Let's go inside the coach's corner once again and catch up with Southport's Brandon Winters as we interplay in week number 8 of the IHSAA football season. How are you, Coach?
Doing well.
Good
Fall break, a little bit of rest, hopefully.
Yeah, this is an interesting time for you guys with a couple of weeks off academically, and it takes some managing to get the things done.
It does. We try to encourage the kids to do a good job with their free time, which teenagers sometimes need some help with. But we've had a pretty good week here. The kids seem a little energized just because the length of the day hasn't been so long. So it's been good.
I think when you talk to any administrator or any teacher or any student, everybody needs a little bit of a break.
Yeah, it's a grind. These guys being student athletes, a lot of them are up at 5:30 to get here for a 7 o'clock school day, and then like on game days, for example, some of the kids have been awake for 15 hours before the game even starts. And so it's also kind of been the end of our academic quarter, so they've kind of been working to try and finish well there. So, yeah, it's time for a break. They felt it, we felt it, and hopefully it will pay off with kind of re-energizing us a little bit.
5-2 on the season, looking very good as we interplay against Terre Haute South this weekend. And let's take a quick rewind as pertains to Terre Haute North and touch on perhaps all phases of the game, offensively, defensively, and special teams.
I thought it was probably one of the rare times this year where we've kind of been dominant in all three phases. We have a tendency to just not be, this group, to just not be sharp in all phases at the same time. And that came together last week pretty well. Defensively, the one score they got came after kind of a chuck it up, and a guy kind of made a back shoulder catch and kind of set them up. But other than that, they weren't really able to get anything going consistently on us. We had some game plan things that I thought we could take away their best stuff. Kind of had a feel for what they were doing, and we were 100% right on what they were going to do. And so the kids were able to execute. We really didn't have to make a lot of adjustments, so they stayed comfortable through the game. Offensively, we came out, had a couple nice runs to set up our play action game. I mean, Munoz was running kind of uncovered over the middle of the field because we were able to establish a running game early. And on special teams, we I think we're kind of a pain to deal with. The way we spread the ball around on our kicks, our different formations on punts, and stuff like that. And so teams have to kind of be, I think they're just worried about make sure they have the ball at the end of special teams plays or not giving up something because of all the stuff we do. And so we're able to a lot of times be a little more aggressive than the other team, and that's paid off in field position. We got a turnover on a kickoff where they were a little confused on who was going to field the ball.
One of the things that we talk about in our broadcast, whether it be last week or the previous week, is I don't think you can ever understate the value of clock management. And that fits into whether it's a close game or you get up on top of them big.
Yeah, we've actually been pretty solid at that, I think. One of the things you have to do with clock management is you have to make sure that you have somebody on top of it that's not calling plays. Because if you're calling, whether you're calling offense, defense, whatever it is, you're worried about, if you're worried about that, calling plays, all right, and you're worried about the clock, one of them is not getting your full attention, which either way, that's bad. So we have a couple guys who are assigned to, one on offense, one on defense, that when we get into a serious clock management situation, into the game, even into the quarter, their job is to focus on that and then be in the ear of the guys calling plays. But really, that's one of those things where you have to practice it too. We practice that. We practice what to do when we want to bleed the clock. We practice making sure we're ready to go. We practice what to do if the other team's a slower or faster tempo. And it's one of those things that's really easy to not want to spend time on at practice, but you'll really be sorry if you don't, because it'll cost you football games.
And, the delegation of responsibilities to your staff and what they do, each one is important in game plan, but with Coach Duggar on the offensive side and you on the defensive side, it all kind of fits together.
Yeah, he helps me with the clock and I help him, but then we also have guys in the booth that do the same thing. So Coach Lazan's on me when we're on defense. Coach Weatherford's on Duggar when we're on offense. We even have on our call sheets kind of a chart on when you're supposed to go for two, based on the score and the time left. But then there's also that human element when it comes to going for two, that you kind of feel how the game's going. You know, can we beat these guys in overtime, or do we need to try to win now, or do we need to start chasing points because our offense has struggled? So we kind of have a plan, and then you got to deal with the situation as it unfolds.
Let's get a quick scouting report on Terre Haute South. They too come into the game at 5-2, and we have a 4-way tie in Conference Indiana.
It's interesting. Some of the teams are done playing Conference Indiana games. We've still got 2. But that's one of the things we talked about, unfortunately, after the just kind of inexplicably bad performance at Bloomington South by us. We still have something to play for here. I know they're going to be fired up about it. I think our kids are excited about the chance to win a conference championship. I mean, I don't think people understand how hard that is to win your conference when you're playing against the same teams, the same coaches. Everybody knows each other. So we're ready to go. I think that they are going to try to run the ball. Defensively, they've kind of done some different stuff week to week, so we've kind of prepared for a little bit of everything. But really what it starts out, where it's going to play out for us is the line of scrimmage. We've got to stop them. We've got to make up front, run the ball. We've got to make them throw. And offensively, we've got to establish a running game, because we're really good in the throwing game when people have to respect the run. A few times this year we haven't run the ball well, and teams have been able to play coverage on us, so we can't let that happen.
Best of luck, Coach.
Thank you.